Taking a moment to close our eyes and focus on our breath. Allowing our breath to slow down. Very slowly bending our knees, drawing our knees into our chest, give them a hug. Rocking side to side. And the next time we roll to our right side, let's roll all the way over, supporting our head. And we can support it with our arm or a yoga block or a towel, whatever we prefer. And then I want you to keep your feet together and draw your top knee up to the ceiling. And then slowly bring our top knee down. And lifting our knee, keeping our feet together, slowly lowering our knee down. And again, lifting. And putting it down. And one more time. And put our knee down. Let's keep our knees together. Lift our top foot up to the ceiling. And put it down. And lift it up. And put it down. And nice and slow, lift up our foot. And put it down. Couple more, just like that. And put it down. And then roll onto our back, drawing our knees into our chest. Rock side to side, moving with core stability. Come back to center and then roll to our left side, putting our knees down on the floor. Again, supporting our head any way we like. Just stack your ankles, your knees, bending your knees. And then lift your top knee, keeping your feet together. And slowly put them down. Lift them up. And slowly lower down. Continue to lift and lower nice and slow. One more time. And leaving our knees down, lift our foot, keeping our knees together. And slowly lowering down. And we're looking for smooth movement. Doesn't mean we're going to get it. It's just what we're looking for. Nice and slow. Let's find one more. And put it down. Draw our knees into our chest, roll onto our back. And let's rock side to side. Then slowly come up to a standing position at the front of our mat. Feet are hip width distance apart, toes point forward, rock forward and back. Kind of find your center of gravity. When you rock forward and lift your heels and then lift your toes, can you feel where the center of your core is that allows you to stay stable? And rock side to side, shifting one side, then the other. And you feel that same place in your core, just to engage a little bit differently. And come back to center. Sweep our hands up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Step our right foot back, lunge. From our lunge, reach our hands up to the ceiling, high lunge. Take our hands down to the mat. Step our front foot back, plank pose. Lower all the way down to our bellies. Cobra, opening our heart. Downward facing dog. Walk forward, front of our mat. And fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. And hands come together in front of our heart. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Left foot steps back this time. Front knee stays over the top of our ankle. Rise all the way up. High lunge. Lowering our hands down to the mat. Step back, plank. Lower all the way down. Cobra, opening our heart. Downward facing dog. Walk forward, front of our mat. And fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, chair pose. Sink our hips back. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Walk back, plank. Lower our knees down to the mat, followed by the tops of our feet. Feel our chest reach forward, our shoulder blades pull down our back. Let our gaze stay slightly forward and our elbows stay soft. Let's lift one foot up off the floor, put it back down. Lift our other, put it back down. Continue lifting one foot at a time, keeping our belly hugged in. Option to start moving one foot up as you're lowering the other one down. And then sink our hips back, child's pose. Letting our forehead rest on the mat. On our next exhale, let's find downward facing dog. Walk forward, front of our mat. And fold. On our next inhale, step our right foot back. Reach our hands up. Pivot our right foot down. Bring our arms out, warrior two. Straighten our front leg, turn our left toes to the side of our mat. Hands come to our hips. You don't have to be square to your mat, but make sure that you're moving in alignment with your body. So your feet are aligned. And then soften our knees, hinge from our hips, and fold. Letting our hands come down to blocks, the floor, the sides of our legs, whatever feels good for you. Rising up, lifting our chest, draw our heels in, toes out, Push our knees out so they're in line with our toes. Drop our hips down. Take our hands to our thighs and then lift our chest up. Let our hands press into our legs. Our arms are rigid. Let our shoulders relax. And then using the strength and the stability of a locked out upper body, let your hips go. We're stretching through our inner thighs. Maybe shift side to side. Finding some gentle movement through the hips. Come back to center, come up. And then we're going to turn our right toes to the back of our mat. Reach our hands up. Turn our left toes to the side of our mat. So now we're setting up for a warrior two, facing the back of our mat. Bending our right knee, lower our arms down. Reach our hands back up, pivot on our back foot. We're now facing the back of our mat. Reach our hands forward or towards the back of our mat as we hinge forward halfway. Feel the right hip pull back. Take our hands, reach them back behind us. Take our hands down to the floor. Step our right foot back, plank pose, facing the back of our mat. Lower down. Cobra, opening our heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk towards the back of our mat, walking our feet towards our hands, and fold. Bend our knees, reach all the way up. Hands come together in front of our heart. Shift our way down to our left foot, lift our right heel. Step our right foot back, lunge. We're going to straighten our front leg, pivot on our back foot, turn our left toes to the long edge of our mat again. Reach our hands out. From this wide stance, I want you to bend your knees, shoot your hips back, and then bring your chest forward a little bit. Let those knees remain soft so you can keep the natural curve of our low back. Then reach our right hand down and then our left. Just spiraling side to side, finding rotation, letting the movement come from mid-back up. Lower body stays stable. If this is too intense, do it with bent elbows. And bring our arms out, hands come to our legs, bend our knees, take our hands down to the floor, then straighten our legs and fold. Bend our knees, lower our hips, walk our hands around to the front of our mat, pivoting on our feet. Step our front foot back, plank. Lower all the way down. Cobra, opening our heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk forward, front of our mat, and fold. Left foot steps back. Reach our hands up. Pivot on our back foot. Reach our arms down. Warrior two. Straighten our front leg. Turn our toes to the long edge of our mat. And fold. Hands to our hips. Lowering all the way down to what feels good for us. Then pivot on our feet, turning our toes out, heels in, sink our hips down, lift our chest, hands come to our thighs. And we're setting up for the same variation that we had earlier, locking out our arms, supporting our shoulders, keeping our knees pressing out wide, stretching the inner thighs. Shift side to side if it feels good for you. Come back to center. Straightening our legs. As we face the long edge of our mat, we're going to turn our left toes towards the back of our mat, turn our right toes in, reach our arms out, sink our hips down, warrior two. Pivot on our back foot. We're going to reach our right hand towards the back of our mat, hinge forward, and then extend our hands back. Take our hands down to the floor, shift our weight forward, lift our back foot, step forward, and fold. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, fold. Left foot steps back. Turn our toes to the long edge of our mat. Cartwheel our hands up. Warrior two. Straightening our right leg, turn our toes to the long edge of our mat. Hands come to our hips. Bend our knees, lower our chest. Come all the way down. Letting our head hang. Bending our knees, lowering our hips. And then come up, hands to thighs. Then straighten our legs a little bit. Let's come all the way up for a moment. Point our toes to the long edge of our mat. Draw our hips back, soften our knees. Keep a flat back, so whatever that means for you. Whatever position you need to be in to keep your spine neutral, we're gonna let our arms hang. Reach our right hand up to the ceiling, bring it down, and then our left. Excuse me. Again, you can do this from bent elbows. Back stays flat. We have the curve of our low back. Chest stays open. And bring our hands down. Let's fold again. Walking our hands around to the front of our mat, pivoting on our feet. Step back, plank. Lower all the way down. Cobra, opening our heart. Child's pose, pressing back. Rising up to downward facing dog. Walk forward, front of our mat, and fold. Rise up halfway, and fold. From here, bend our knees, lower them down to the mat. Rock our hips side to side, let our shoulders move in the opposite direction. Option to move both shoulders and hips in the same direction, finding whichever variation feels best for you. Then bringing our hips back to center, let's extend our right hand forward, rotate our thumb up to point to the ceiling. Make sure we have a neutral spine, tailbone tips up to the ceiling. And lower our hand down, bring our left hand forward. Thumb points up. Bring our left hand down, extend our left foot back. Press through our heel, toes point down towards the floor. Lower our knee down, extend our right foot back, press through our heel. Lower it down, extend our right hand, left foot. Lower down. Left hand, right foot. Lower down, switch. Lower, switch. Lower, switch. Lower, switch. And switch. And switch. And bring it down. Let's round our back like a howling cat. And open our heart. Rounding our back. And opening our heart. One more time. Flexing and extending our spine. Bringing it back to neutral. Let's turn our gaze over our right shoulder and towards the back of our mat, keeping our hips very still. So the movement comes from waist up. Come back to center. Gaze over our left shoulder and towards the back of our mat. And back to center. And right side. Center, left side. And to the right one more time. And to the left one more time. Back to center. Let's grab a hold of our towel or blanket and a block. So let's grab both blocks just in case we need them. But we're going to start with one. We're going to roll to our right side, bending our knees. Block. Actually, before we get to the side, we're going to take our blanket or towel, and you're going to roll it up or fold it. Your choice, depending on what the thickness is. Place it towards the back of our mat, and our rib cage, the sides of our ribs, are going to rest on our towel. So adjust it to honor your body. Then come to lying down on your right side. Place a block underneath our head. And we're looking for a place where our spine can be neutral and our right hand can extend out in front of us. Place our left hand on our hip for a moment, noticing that shoulders are stacked, hips are stacked, knees are stacked, ankles are stacked. Then place your left hand on top of your right. On our next inhale, take our left hand, reach it up to the ceiling. Hug our shoulder blade onto our back. Feel it really firm. From that firm shoulder blade, start to roll your left shoulder back behind you. And you can keep your knees together, or you could place a block between your knees. So choose whatever variation feels best for you. Then slowly lift our left shoulder up, bringing our left hand down, creating space between our shoulder blades. Then from that place of space, take our left hand, reach it up. Hug your shoulder blade on your back. Roll your left shoulder back behind you. Keeping your left arm in line with your shoulder. You're only going as far as your shoulder allows, not your arm. If you're feeling a stretch across the front of your shoulder, check in that your hand isn't past your shoulder. And come back up. Shoulder stacked over right. Lower your left hand down. Pause. Then lift our left hand up to the ceiling, hug our shoulder blade onto our back, roll our left shoulder back behind us, keep our knees together, or hugging our block. On our next exhale, lift our left shoulder up, bringing our left hand down on top of our right. Pause and relax. Slowly reach our left hand up to the ceiling. Hug our shoulder blade onto our back. Then reach our left shoulder back behind us. Keep our knees together. Lifting our left shoulder back up. And release our left hand on top of our right. And relax. From here, we're going to roll to our other side. So you can press yourself up and come to your other side. You can roll onto your back. Just make sure that your props are coming with you. You have something to support your head and your rib cage. Making sure that our blanket or towel is keeping our spine in a neutral position. Taking our right hand to our hip first, feeling our shoulders stacked, spine aligned, hips stacked, knees stacked, feet stacked. Then take our right hand and place it on top of our left. Right hand reaches up to the ceiling, shoulder blade hugged on our back. Then slowly open up our chest, bringing our right shoulder back behind us. Keep our knees together. And reach our right shoulder back up to the ceiling. And place our right hand on top of our left. And relax. As we keep our hands together, we can let our body rock forward or relax into any position that feels good for us. Slowly reach our right hand up to the ceiling. Hug our shoulder blade onto our back. Let our right shoulder come back behind us as we keep our knees together, either hugging our block or hugging our knees. Reaching our right hand back up to the ceiling. When our shoulders are stacked, take our right hand down, place it on top of our left. Slowly draw our right hand into our chest. Press it into the floor. Come up. And we're going to roll back onto our back, placing our props off to the side. Draw our knees into our chest. Give them a hug. Releasing our feet down to the mat. Grab a hold of our block. We're going to lift our hips up off the mat, place our block underneath our hips, and then squeeze our shoulder blades together. Lengthen the back of our neck, letting our chin soften towards our throat. Feel our tailbone gently reach forward, our chest reach back towards our chin. Lifting our hips up off the block. Release it out from underneath us. Lower our hips back down. Release our shoulder blades. And then let's walk our feet out a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. And rock our knees side to side. Starting with small movement, working ourselves up to lifting one hip at a time. Letting our movement get a little bit bigger. Focusing on the leg that drops into the midline of our body. Bringing our knees to center. Walk our feet in. Let's bring the soles of our feet together. Let our knees come out wide. And take a moment to pause. Very slowly hugging our belly in, lifting our knees. And then from here, we're going to set up into a heart opener for Shavasana. So you're going to have two options. You're going to start by coming up to seated. So roll to one side and come up. You can use 2 blocks. You can use blocks and a blanket or towel. You're using 2 blocks. One is for your head and one is for your spine. So notice that they go in 2 different directions. The one for your head should be higher than the one for your spine. You can do the same thing with a blanket, fold it up, and then take the end of it and fold it up a little bit higher so that the head part is higher than the rest of it, and you can lay down on top of that. You can also use a blanket over the top of your blocks if you kind of want a little bit of in between. And then go ahead and set up, lying down on our props. Drawing our awareness back to our bodies. As we let our breath deepen, let's invite movement into our hands and our feet. Let that movement spread to our wrists and our ankles. Bending our knees. Let's walk our elbows in close to our body. Lifting our head, walk our elbows back. Press ourselves up one at a time and find our way back to a comfortable seat. As we rise up tall through our spine, let's take our hands together in front of our heart, sealing in all that we found in this practice of movement, with balance, with stability, with letting go of tension, with moving in different positions, in different directions than we typically move, challenging the mind and what it's used to, and noticing how we felt when we did so. All of this is a gift of getting to know who we are, how we behave, and how what our choices we make honor our bodies, our mind, our ability to stay relaxed. Take all of that with us as we come off of our mat. Namaste.